Popular performers both reflect and shape social attitudes. The white rapper Eminem won a Grammy Award while I was writing this book, and at the time of his award, one of his newest popular songs was Kim, the name of Eminem's wife. The song begins with the singer putting his baby daughter to bed and then preparing to murder his wife for being with another man. He tells his wife, "If you move, I will beat the shit out of you," and informs her that he has already murdered their 4-year-old son. He then tells his wife that he is going to drive away with her in the car, leaving the baby at home, and then will bring her home dead in the trunk. Kim's voice, as performed by Eminem, is audible on and off throughout the song, screaming with terror. At times, she pleads with him not to hurt her. He describes to her how he's going to make it look as if she is the one who killed their son and that he killed her in self-defense so that he will get away with it. Kim screams for help and then is audibly choked to death. Eminem screams, "Bleed, bitch, bleed, bleed," and the murder is followed by the sound of a body being dragged across dry leaves, thrown into the trunk of a car, and closed in. Even more horrible than Eminem's decision to record the song glorifying the murder of a woman and a child is the fact that it did not stop him from winning a Grammy. What is a teen boy or a young man to conclude about our culture from this award? I believe I can safely say that a singer who openly promoted the killing of Jews or blacks or people in wheelchairs would be considered ineligible for a Grammy, but not so, unfortunately, for encouraging the brutal and premeditated murder of one's wife and child, complete with a plan on how to get away with the consequences of it. Unfortunately, Eminem has plenty of company. The extremely popular Guns N' Roses recorded a song that goes, "I used to love her, but I had to kill her. I had to put her 6 feet under, and I can still hear her complain." The singer Axl Rose goes on to sing that he knows that he would miss her, so he buried her in the backyard. The song supports a common attitude among physical abusers that women's complaints are what provoke men's violence. Another outstanding example is the comedian Andrew Dice Clay, whose repertoire of jokes about the beating and sexual assault of females has filled performance halls across the country. Fans of these kinds of performers have been known to state defensively, "Come on, it's just humor." But humor is actually one of the most powerful ways that a culture passes on its values. If a man is actually inclined towards abuse because of his earlier training or experience, he can find validation in such performances and distance himself even further from empathy for his partners. In one of the abuse cases I was involved in, the man used to play the Guns N' Roses song on the stereo repeatedly and tell his wife that this was what was going to happen to her, laughing about it. But in the context of a verbal assault and physical fear that he created, that was a joke to him and a blood-curdling threat to his partner. The reason I am so passionate about anti-corn and about really observing the music that your boyfriend listens to, the jokes that he finds funny, the ways that he excuses other men, is because those things aren't compartmentalized. If your weird boyfriend is constantly defending their favorite rapper who has a lot of sexual assault allegations, or someone they really look up to who used to be his wife but it was a long time ago, he's making excuses for that person. And if you find that your boyfriend is constantly defending people like this, it's because he sees part of himself in that person. He's taking it personally because he feels that he is defending himself, most likely due to the fact that he's guilty in some level of whatever that person, that man, has committed. And if he hasn't committed it, there's still not a reason for it, because in his eyes, if that ever comes across his path or his narrative, he doesn't see it as that bad. If you find that your boyfriend sings a little bit louder or laughs a little bit harder at variables that put you at the expense of being the punchline or the brunt of a joke for the sake of a man's pleasure or benefit, it's worth noting and keeping upstairs in your noggin, not for the sake of waiting to be proved wrong or right, but rather as seeing that initial warning sign as enough evidence to get that person very far away from you for your own sake and your own safety.